And then that bleeds very quickly into the next dimension, which I call realness for the sake of the F.I.E.R.C.E model. But realness is really authenticity. And people will say to me, what's the difference between emotional intelligence and authenticity? The fundamental difference is that core authenticity is not necessarily emotional. It is a sense of self that is grounded in integrity and honesty and core ethical principles. It's values driven. And clearly there's an emotional component to it. But if you think about an alpha style authentic leader, they really are likely to be very conservative and very stoic and very clear on values A, B, C, D. Right? What they're not necessarily comfortable with is being vulnerable, which is more open and transparent, and sharing their imperfections, their humanity. And they may struggle sometimes with humility, right? I mean, if you're super self-confident, being humble doesn't always come naturally. And you can imagine the other end of the spectrum. Highly transparent, open, vulnerable, and humble, and then not necessarily assertive. So authenticity requires that balance back and forth between the two.
Yeah, this is one that I could see both beta leaders and alpha leaders equally needing to focus on, especially in today's society where there's so much noise and so many visuals pointing back at you about what a leader is. So that, I think, is, as you pointed out, really critical.
And I would add to that that you're absolutely right that this idea of authenticity is incredibly complex. Mm-hmm. And we do tend to oversimplify it. Mm-hmm. Like we want it to just be, have integrity. Like that's enough. Well, effectiveness is more complex than that. So I think what I wanted to do in this area of authenticity is tear it open a little bit, okay, but make it accessible. Mm-hmm. But have people really step back and think about when is it strong to be vulnerable?